Much like the body organ it studies and upholds, the Philippine Dermatological Society, or PDS, is first and foremost a guardian, defending and pursuing the highest standards of the country's dermatology practice. As the PDS celebrates its 70th year, we uncover the historic layers of a robust and resilient organization, on its way to becoming one of the world's most recognized and respected leaders in dermatology. The story begins in 1910 when a few Filipino doctors were deep into the practice of dermatology, which at that time was intertwined with civilology and leprology.
Dermatology began as a separate practice when Dr. Perpetuo Gutierrez and Dr. Stanley began teaching them at the UP College of Medicine as a separate subject. This spurred the medical field to start seeing dermatology as a distinct specialty. At the same time, several young Filipino doctors went abroad, usually in Europe, US, and in Japan.
Armed with new skills and knowledge, the doctors returned to the Philippines, sharing what they have learned in universities and scientific conventions.
These doctors gained teaching positions in prestigious universities. They taught dermatology and began convening informally to talk about issues and interesting cases. Eventually, they started organizing themselves. This led to the founding of the Philippine Dermatological Society in November 8, 1952.
Dr. Perpetuo Gutierrez served as the first president of the PDS. His pioneering acts in the field earning him the title Father of Philippine Dermatology. He served for 3 consecutive terms, his leadership ending in 1958.
On its first year, the PDS only had 10 members plus an honorary member from Spain, the Dr. Jose Gay Prieto. But despite this small organization, the PDS was immediately recognized as a specialty society affiliated with the Philippine Medical Association.
The 1960s was a period of social unrest brought by the Vietnam War, rock and roll, and the civil rights movement. It was also a time when the PDS underwent a crucial transition.
The International League of Dermatological Societies accepted PDS as a member. Our delegates to the 1962 International Congress of Dermatology in Washington, D.C. were Doctors Manuel Fernandez, Guillermo Gutierrez, and Socorro Simuanco. After that, it was Dr. Simuanco who initiated a monthly medical education program for the PDS members.
In the 1970s, PDS continued its transformation, gaining a stronger foothold in the medical field, not just in the country, but also globally.
PDS partnered with the Philippine General Hospital, or PGH, which became our first accredited training institution. After PDS was registered with SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, it formed its specialty board and its Committee on Accreditation to ensure the quality of its training programs. In 1972, PDS became a founding member of the League of ASEAN Dermatological Societies. It also participated in the 4th Regional Asian and Australasian Conference of Dermatology held in Malaysia. Then, for its graduate course, it collaborated with the North American College of Dermatologists.
Taking its cue from the skin, considered a mode of communication and interaction, the PDS expanded its contacts and reach in the 1980s by hosting the Regional Conference of Dermatology.
The conference was held in the Philippine Plaza in 1982, and in 1987, the PDS organized the first leprosy symposium. It also accredited more training institutions, welcoming the Skin and Cancer Foundation, the University of Santo Tomas, the Makati Medical Center, the University of the East Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Medical Center, and the Jose R. Reyes Memorial Medical Center.
In the 1990s, PDS launched another series of firsts, including hosting the 10th Regional Conference of Dermatology while celebrating the organization's 40th founding anniversary.
1992 saw the birth of its first publication, the Journal of the Philippine Dermatological Society, and 2 years later, the first annual Residents Research Forum was started. It was also in the 90s that the PDS had its first regional chapter, and this is the Southern Philippines chapter. It held various CME activities for our members living in the Visayas and Mindanao areas.
The new millennium marked a momentous event, the PDS merging with the Philippine Society of Cutaneous Medicine, or the PSCM, creating a united front to further the cause of the country's skin health excellence.
The United PDS became the only society for dermatology in the country recognized by the Philippine College of Physicians. More residency training institutions were accredited. Other milestones include the first celebration of the National Skin Disease Detection and Prevention Week, the approval of the PDS Code of Ethics, and the first edition of the PDS Administrative Manual.
It was a time for institutionalizing many aspects. The outreach program was formally launched. The PDS newsletter and the PDS Health Information System. 3 more chapters were born: Southern, Central, and Northern Luzon.
The next decade saw how PDS continued to reinvent and renew itself. In 2011, the first PDS National Conference was held, which further boosted the organization's reputation and competencies.
The first Handbook of Clinical Practice Guidelines was published, which raised the standards of dermatological care. In 2013, PDS participated in the Sister Society meeting for the first time during the International Congress of Dermatology in India. We were also the first Asian country that held the 4th Continental Congress of Dermatology under the auspices of the International Society of Dermatology.
PDS embraced the digital age by launching its website, the PDS app, and building its social media presence. In 2015, we acquired real estate property, a lot in Quezon City, where we eventually built our permanent home.
But in 2020, the unimaginable happened. The fast-paced changes the world was experiencing was overshadowed by the biggest challenge of all, a global health crisis that pressed a pause on all operations.
Everything was suddenly put on hold. We didn't know what was going to happen. All the planned conferences, meetings, activities, outreach programs. Do we just sit back and wait with the rest of the world?
But PDS adapted. By using video conference tools, we came out with free learning programs online. We adjusted our annual activities so we could continue being productive. Because it was a great time of need for our fellow Filipinos, we sustained our outreach programs and officially announced that PDS is going to operate in its new home.
The pandemic has allowed PDS to innovate. And now, with the ease of government restrictions, the PDS is back in full force, ready to overcome any challenge that comes its way.
The PDS has come a long way. It has grown into a thriving organization composed of many moving parts that we are able to monitor because of our passionate members. We are constantly improving our operations and adapting to changes, but our mission stays the same: to be humane, service-oriented dermatologists with the highest ethical and professional standards, sharing our knowledge through information dissemination, training, and research.
Despite the many changes, the PDS remains steadfast in its passion and purpose. With 70 years behind it, it faces forward, its focus clear and unwavering, to stay true to its objectives of digging deep into the layers of dermatologic knowledge, peeling away ignorance and close-mindedness, ultimately making a difference that's beyond skin deep in the lives of Filipinos.